Order, order, order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go on over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gantz. But during his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Yes, Emma's mistaken. Or there is another one. I think there is another one. The witness is this admin about the accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright, in that instance, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. This picture. Take that. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here in this inside this picture. This is the picture of the award ceremony. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. The halberd. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the picture was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife witness saw was in all likelihood this award. Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and a broken knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. The broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and their victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Maybe he did win the fight, huh? But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. No, I think he's right. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Miss Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list. This one with the picture scribbled on the back. What the fuck is that? I knew it. The picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. What is that though? What is it? All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled in the sky? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the Blue Badger. I like how the theme song played too for Blue Badger. That should be interesting. When I saw the man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. What? He didn't even exist. Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Well, you guys are just getting more and more new, like, animation. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come to this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendants. Thank you. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What exactly did Emma see? All that's left now is to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Alright, so the blue badger... press on that. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but still remember it. Yeah, the three creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The wonders must be mistaken. What the fuck is that? What is that? I don't know. Why is it? Wait, why is this broken still? Oh my god. But what's important is that we caused her to think what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, by all means, please tell us what the shadow really was. What was Emma saw when he flashed? I'm glad I figured that out beforehand. Dude, the blue badger. Dude. I think I know. Yeah, she saw the shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on the fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger, but that is now sitting in the something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright, yeah, aren't they amazing? What is it that the witness saw in the instant? I can't believe it, dude. It's this. Mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's something sort of jar. But right, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Come on, use your scientific investigation skills. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if I were to change our viewpoints? I've got to show them. I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this room. Maybe this way. Like this, maybe? Oof. There he is. This is a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. No. It can't be. Yeah, it can. Yeah. Order, the defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoy Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So the badger thing was actually just a jar. Doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then. Please, tell us. What difference now that we know the witness saw this jar? Isn't it all these? Maybe? Location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw the jar. Not only that, but she saw it on a very specific angle. Knowing this, where could she have been seen this jar? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken of the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gantz. But the poem was found lying near Lana's guy's desk. Witness testified so herself. Yes, and it also these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana's guy's office. It happened on either side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Anyone playing the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana's guy's office. Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what the reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. This is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Dude, that was fucking awesome. Now, tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Maybe something in front of Lana, eh? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp, dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the prosecutor's award. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there is another possibility what actually transpired in that room. And I'm gonna push someone away. Of course the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless. Ugh, dude, this sucks. This sucks, dude. If events took place at as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Did she figure it out too? You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? It's kind of the worst part, huh? Ugh, she's freaking out. Oh, she fainted. Great. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. As a witness who took the victim's life, and then proves so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. And that's why you had to go through all the trouble of forging evidence to protect your sister. Sorry, Miss Guy, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin this crime on her? Ooh, she's nervous. Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? I'm willing to bet you don't. I do. It generally would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work on this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. You certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course. That only leaves us with only one possibility. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. Is that what this blood splatter is? Is that what this blood splatter is? I can't get it right though. I have no clue how to get this right. Maybe it isn't that. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. Somehow. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? Criminal their name that the victim may have left behind. The message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. It's totally this again. Those marks are too like... that is a blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone forgot this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of the jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used these few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. So let's connect the dots. No wonder I can figure it out. What kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. One thing that the victim would have written, given the circumstance, the murderer's name. This. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove his client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Oh boy. A dying message, huh, Emma? So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. I just don't believe it, honestly. I don't want to believe this. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. See where they can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gantz, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But he still did the other murders. Joe Dark really was a serial murderer, that's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Yeah, it is. Fuck off. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, the facts cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. He's still a serial killer. He's killed other people. Oh my god, dude. Guys, shut up. Who knows, maybe he did kill the guy too. I don't know. Gavel pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Same, yeah, who knows.